We have a few episodes we've recorded where we either lost the audio or that the audio was too bad to keep. Yes, it has been worse of time. Anyways, here's some random clips of us talking about random stuffs.
Anyway, hi. Tavern
Hello.
Talk. We haven't done this in a while. Jeremy got taken away by a bunch of ants because he put a bunch of sugar on his back. So, they
all right.
took him
So,
away.
if you were to get taken away by ants, now hear me out. If you were to be taken away by ants, how would you?
Are we talking about like the bug or like Woody Allen ants?
No, just the bug.
Just the bugs. Like
I had to know.
Yeah. All right. So if you were to be taken out by ants, or taken away, how would you want them to carry you? Would you want them to would you want to be standing up and they lift you from the feet,
that'd
or
be
do you
scary.
want to go
That's
like
roller skating
back
against your
down?
will.
Yeah, back down, stomach down.
I would like for the ants to form the figure of a person, kind of like 10 million ants from Rick and Morty, and just have them carry me like a baby.
Like
okay.
what's the name of that? The fireman's carry, I guess.
I think fireman's over the shoulder.
over the
isn't it?
shoulder.
What's
yeah.
this one? This through the thing for the the stereotypical ass wedding.
The wedding,
carry.
like
You know
the-
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like when you're carrying.
That's what I
through the
pictured.
threshold.
Threshold,
or
yeah,
whatever.
threshold
I
carry
pictured
or
that,
whatever.
and it's and we can build this thing together, and it's Tyler and a bunch of fucking ants.
Oh my god.
Nothing's
love it.
gonna I don't know. I think I want to fully lean into it and like curl my legs and arms up like a little dead roach and let them carry me away via my back like they did Jeremy.
I see.
Ooh, fun fact. Do you know why spiders do that?
I do not.
Whenever they die,
Is
they
it
like
because
curl up.
Is it because their nerves are connected in some?
So
capacity?
the way, and someone, this is the kind of thing I learned at one point, and it's entirely possible
Jamie,
that
pull
I've
that.
just been believing a lie. Hey, Jamie, look this up for me.
Jamie,
but
I'm about to hit the freebase this crack real quick. Can you please look that up?
yeah, so apparently spiders move. They don't have muscles, They move their legs by shooting
God.
this like fluid into the leg, and it will like extend it. And so whenever they're dead, they don't have anything to do that, so they just curl back up.
Because it's like releasing
Because there's
kind of the
nothing.
pressure.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like
That's
a flaccid
I hope
penis.
that I'm gonna Google that. Tyler editing. Go ahead and Google that. If that was a lie, just edit it out so I don't look stupid.
It's pretty much true.
Dumb information was being spread. And this is for if it was correct. Oh wow, you're so smart. Oh my fucking god, the Great Wizard Shazoo just cast the
Yes.
Oh
God.
man. Dude.
I can't wait for the day that
The Great Wizard Shazoo.
just accidentally chocolate rains.
What is this, a microphone? Ooh, and does like the stereotypical baby. Ooh. The feds don't want me to tell you about men being gross. All I'm saying is, before I get my shit shut down again, some perverts online, just like they like to do every time to any celebrity, they did it to Taylor Swift with those fucking photos that like, there's some people who said they were traumatized. That's a whole nother can of worms. This shit was funny. If you know how to spot AI, it didn't look like that, but I get that like, you can't control who's on Twitter and who's going to be a fan. That shit's going in front of eyes. You shouldn't have it in front of and stuff. And plus, why fucking try to ruin these people's reputation like that? Like, you dummies aren't going to know that that's not them. And now you've made people think that they're like out here doing horrible things or whatever. And then that's a whole other thing. Cause like, you like, why is it a bad thing, to do sex work? If she did that consentingly and it's like, don't leak people's shit, but like, fuck you for being a weirdo. But y'all are going to fuck the game up and no one's going to get ass anymore because you can't be happy with what you look the gift horse right in its goddamn mouth. You're so stupid. Every one of you guys participating in it and who like to like say, oh, it's not that big a deal. Or if they want to be thoughts until they want to be. That's her choice to fucking shake ass on her Instagram that belongs to her. She didn't post a fucking sensitive private thing, which this wasn't. It was a deep fake put on a clear porn you could look up and like cross-reference.
Even a good parallel is just to remember the fappening when it happened.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Like the conversations that happened with like, yes, Jennifer Lawrence took those photos, but she sent them privately, consentingly to one person.
Yes, they're on her personal
mean
phone. Like,
that doesn't mean because she did that. Well, she shouldn't have taken them if she didn't want them
that
to
logic
be hacked
makes
and
no
stolen
sense.
and leaked to the public.
That logic is so dog shit.
You're not a safe person to be around
Fully.
if that's your
like,
mindset
and
there.
Then, like, not to get too deep into it, I don't want to get too caught up in the weeds because I don't care to bring that kind of shit around here. If you're a dude listening to this podcast and you play D&D and you're in spaces with queer and female people at your table and you do this kind of shit or you condone this kind of shit, fuck out of here, dude. I don't want your views. I don't want your money. I don't need anything from you. And this isn't virtue signaling. Like, y'all genuinely are going to ruin it for everyone. And women are going to be like, fuck it. We're all going to do OnlyFans since people want to fucking make it uncomfortable for us to fucking just explore our bodies and our sexualities on our own social media for our own entertainment.
Can I also just say, I hate and I understand, like, it existing. I hate the term virtue signaling, or at least what it has become, because the idea of virtue signaling is also kind of stupid to me.
It's like woke.
I guess you could argue, exactly. Like, sure, I guess you could argue like this, it could be somewhat virtue signaling because we're doing it to an audience, quote unquote. But like, also, like, I don't fucking want to interact with people like that. like you can say that it's virtue signaling, but like actually, like, fuck you.
It's the same. Like, straight up. Like I said it online. I was vague about it because like another situation happened. Like I post stuff on TikTok, whatever. I lurk in comment sections, and I do gangbusters in comment sections. I do some big numbers that I could never do with the content I post on my fucking TikTok. I'm funnier when they don't see my face, I guess. But like, I made a comment, and I don't owe anyone nuance. No one has to explain themselves to you or a joke or anything, you know? And people were like trying to come for my neck, like, they were like from this weird like angle of like, sounds like someone's generalizing a group of people right now. And it's like, bro, if you check my page, you would understand who I am and what I'm about. I've never once lied about who I am or what I'm saying. I don't have to explain what I said here. You're proving my point by doing this. Like, the situation was, not to bring this actual content creator in it, but have you ever seen in specifically darker skin tone people, some of them will have yellow eyes? Have you seen this? Have you seen this before? Like in the irises, the white of the irises?
I think so,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
People making assumptions that is immediately a liver disease or anything. Don't diagnose people. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hyperpigmentation thing, apparently. But like, I have had family members who have these features. You know what my first thought is when I look into my family members' eyes that are yellow? Not, why your eyes like that? Because I mind my business.
That's literally such a 6-year-old thing to do.
That's it. And that's my thought too. The only people who have the right to do that are fucking people with brain damage and children. That full stop. Like, you don't, no one owes you an explanation as to what's going on. You don't want to, like, you could scare somebody. Who knows? Like, someone goes straight to WebMD and start thinking they have liver problems and taking the wrong medicine. Like, you just don't know. And I said, it shows a lot of you have never interacted with black people. And I meant that both from the standpoint of like, that's kind of common in darker skinned people, because I knew that having family members like that, like not just one guy, multiple family members I know have this. But I also know that within black spaces and within spaces where you are raised correctly, I will say, I'll just do that instead of black spaces. I was raised to not fucking say shit about things that are not my business. I was not, I was told, you shouldn't point out physical characteristics of someone when you are, there's a better way to learn about a person than just, why you look like that? Like, that's so bizarre to me. It's so weird.
Also, generally, I feel like one thing that I've tried to get better at and to encourage in the people around me is just to not comment on people in general. Like, especially like physical things. Yes. Like, just don't comment on someone else's body and you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't want people talking about my body.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't give a shit one way or the other. You can talk to me if you want. I can ignore you too. Like, I'm very big about writing people off, but at the same time, I totally feel the mindset of like people who just like, and this is what has stopped me from creating, or like this is what has stopped me from like doing something, because you want to fucking ask these weird questions that are none of your concern, you know. And then going back to what we were talking about with the Meg Thee Stallion shit, like, why are you that fucking pressed to ruin someone's career? Did you know this is her first tour? Mm-hmm. She is that much of a big name in the rap industry, and this is her first tour. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but this is her first tour, and like there's videos going around of her on stage trying to perform, and she's like crying, and like it could be unrelated to that. It could be something fully, and I could be off base, whatever. But like, you don't think she's already fucking nervous? You don't think she's already trying to fucking put on a show? And like, she does so much for the community. She's such a big nerd, dude. The most recent single, Boa, is a love letter to One Piece fans, and every one of her raps is like, it. You know where she comes from. She's an anime nerd at heart. She's a blerd. Yeah. I'll say, you know, like, it's not fake. She does cosplay. Like, she goes to Japan all the time. Like, I'm sure she probably has figures and toys and posters and body pillows and shit. Like, she's about it. I know like nothing about her other than like the couple songs she's been featured in.
I've
seen her, like, she gives into the like persona and everything, but I truly think like in her heart of hearts, she's like that fun, cool, weird black girl who's like just about that life, but knows how to like not get caught up. She's not like a power scaler type bitch, you know. Like it's not a thing of like people who do Dragon Ball Z shit, like, who make the space uncomfortable for people. Like, this is why women in general don't talk about anime, because guys will be like, oh yeah, name your top 3 and stuff, and like it's just bizarre.
Men love gatekeeping. Yes. It's the same thing in like metal communities and in movie
like you
communities.
Could literally throw a rock and hit any community, and we see it all the time. And it's just like, these same dudes would be hollering like beaten dogs about, oh, it's Men's Mental Health Month, instead of talking about pride, and like have the nerve to say slurs during like the start of the month and shit. This month. It's like, it's insane, and it's just like, no one's putting it in your face, but you're shoving the fact that you're incredibly insecure about someone else's not your business all the time.
Well, what's unfortunate is what's unfortunate and what's incredibly obvious is the enormous middle section of the Venn diagram between like bigots and hateful people and just unintelligent people.
Yes, dude. And it's like,
the Venn diagram is a circle.
I saw someone saying that too, that like, hey man, I know you're hot, I know you're pissed off at that person, you're wasting your time because they are not equipped to have this conversation with you. Like, fuck an argument. They lost the second they started talking. And I've been trying to honestly internalize that too, because there'll be some times where like I'll have half knowledge, and it's like I could make a video about that, or I could go watch someone say something more informed that helps me process my own thought before I open my fucking mouth. Like that's a big problem with dudes. They're just constantly shouting.
I've been trying to be better about like, you know, I can say my piece, but I'm not going to get in a whole argument. For an example, do y'all know, I know Matt, you will. Kyle, do you remember?
I think I know exactly what you're...
She posted something about pride, and came in, which I unfriended in 2020 when we got into a huge argument about black people.
I'm just gonna say about him, I don't care that you blocked his name out. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit, dude. He used to make me feel bad. I just want to say this real quick. He used to make me feel bad for laughing at jokes with my friends in public, but only me for being loud when everyone else at the table's laughing. You can go fuck yourself. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's a big piece of shit. So he basically came into Edith's comment section being like, you know, like, oh, whatever about, you know, pride and gay and all that. And Edith started like having like a argument with him on Facebook. I came into the comment section. I just was like, he's a hateful loser. This isn't news. Then he responded something. He's like, I didn't say anything hateful, and I literally just sent a GIF like, okay, and like I'm not having this argument.
It's
I'm not arguing with you because you can't comprehend.
Truly, like, and it's not even just
being
him.
A piece of shit.
Like, I know I was like, that was just to get off my chest.
Not just him.
But like people like that, it's like beyond delusional at this point. It's like truly a form of psychosis. Like you're smelling your own farts so long that you fucking can't breathe normal oxygen with the rest of us. So obviously nothing coming out of your mouth is going to make sense. Your brain's not working. Like, it really bothers. Like, and another thing too, like I don't ever try to like devil's advocate shit because like who the fuck wants to be the devil's advocate? Like anyway, these people will like they all have they have the same script at the end of the day too. If you ever notice it, it doesn't matter the argument or the like broad generalization they're making about a group or a situation that just is inherently not true. But like they'll like say shit like, "Oh, I'm just using your logic." No, you aren't. You aren't, because if you were using my logic, you'd be using empathy. You'd be using compassion. You'd be thinking before you spoke, because that's the logic I'm trying to choose. Like, I love telling people, I don't fucking know. Because like, unless I have like the full thing, or like sometimes I'll start to like,
I'm not going to make something up.
You know, not even that. Like, it's not even that you want to make something up. It's just like, you'll have that thing of like, oh man, I could sit here and explain what I actually know. But the exhaustion I feel in like preparing myself to have this conversation has just made me go, I'm washing my hands of it. Like there's so much stuff that I'm like, there's people who have less like, like, you know, thought process about certain things. Like I have no tolerance for certain shit like that, to the point I'm like, just, dude, like, why would I'm just going to keep blocking you. I'm going to erase this comment every time you leave it. Every time you leave it. I'm going to ask you to leave it again too. I'm going to make a video with it, delete it myself, and then have you come to this video to be like, but you keep deleting my comments, you're a coward. Then I'm gonna delete that one. You know, it's so funny.
I'm sorry, I don't owe you anything.
No one does. And that's outside of the realm of podcasts, outside of the realm of like entertainment at large. The man on the street, that dude don't need, he could tell you go fuck yourself and keep it pushing. Will you see him tomorrow? You know, like, like how much can you control within like the confines of like other people? You can't control anything, but you can control what you say. You can control the actions you take and how it affects the people around you. And then like so many of these people, like I want to name drop a lot of TikTokers that have been in some shit. And these people will say the same shit of like, fucking, how come they can do it and I can't? That's not the point here, buddy. If you knew about these guys before you fucked up, you should have said something. But you decided to fuck up alongside them, and oops, you had a bigger platform, didn't you? And a lot of people were like, "That's kind of whack what you said. I'm gonna make a video about it." And then the saddest part of it all is there's some of them I genuinely feel bad. It's like you're so young or you're so naive or a combination of them, all of them, and then on top of it delusional. It's just like you don't understand that you're alone in a room and you're screaming at a phone and you're like, why can't I say these things? That guy did it. I'm not mad. I don't even care. But now I'm raising my voice at no one. You know, it's like we're watching you crash out. You're actually losing it live. And then you go back to renegade. And it's like
I'm friends with the mama.
I'm scared with friends with the mama. And it's just like, dude,
oh my god,
you can't go to like I know I never touched on it in a recorded facet too much, but it goes back to what's happening with this rap beef shit. Kendrick told him, your memes are losing steam. Like, you can't meme your way out of bigotry. You can't fucking hit a TikTok dance. I know I'm fucked up. I'm just a loser. When you're a pedophile, like you can't fix these things.
I'm just quirky. Like
that's right. You can't pull the ukulele out and make a song about how you definitely didn't ask for kids' butthole pictures, even though you definitely did.
Jeez. I still can't believe that.
And I see so many times, like I've been seeing stuff falling out, and I'll talk about this. I haven't been subscribed to Game Grumps in years.
Oh my god.
I haven't watched.
Occasionally, I'll watch. Occasionally, I'll see a clip of like the 10-minute power hour and stuff, and it's like whatever, And then there's people like, how come these washed-up gaming content creators aren't talking about Palestine, the Congo, aren't talking about current events, aren't talking about anything important? They don't care. And you want to know why? Because they make hand over fist billions of views because, funny meme. If they talk politics once, it's tanking the system.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's like,
yeah, that's such a weird thing, because
it makes
like
me sad.
It makes me sad too, because
you can't-
I feel very confident in the fact that like I don't want viewership from the people that would be upset about me
exactly, and that's why like
being against let's say
Yeah,
genocide,
fully.
racism,
Like, not like
homophobia. I don't want
if it
those
causes
people following me,
Yes.
and I would rather make my money elsewhere.
if you get joy from the harm of any other people, regardless of what they're doing, and you can't shut the fuck up about those views just to make your bread, you deserve to be canceled. You deserve to fucking lose sponsorships. Like people always say cancel.
And what's silly is they would still have their platform. They're big enough that they would go down a step or two.
Yeah,
but
like
if
if you took
be
a
fine,
right.
I promise.
Like the way it would be so much simpler for you to just, you're not kowtowing, you're not like bowing down to a view if you genuinely don't feel that in your heart. But if you could take the time to educate yourself and realize, I don't have to talk about that, even if all this science is science and the math is mathin', I don't agree with it. I want to make money though. Why don't I just shut up, right? That speech is harmful. I don't have to associate with these people. I don't have to do anything to these people. I don't have to, like, oh, this person's throwing ass and I think it's like a heartless behavior. Let her throw ass. I'm going to go over here. I'll stop watching that. In fact, I'll block her. Like, you know how simple.
It's
a
incredibly
two-step
easy to
process.
just, I mean, you don't even have to do that. You could just put your phone down.
Yeah. Like yesterday I went on a hike and I regretted every second of it because I had a stroller with me and I was uphill the second round. But I got to see
How was that? It looked like
it
a
was
good time.
so fucking fun, dude. I literally was cursing and saying I was going to sue Mother Nature around families and stuff. It was not good. But it made me realize, I guess I can announce this here. Me and Ryder are quitting smoking.
Ooh.
Because I would much prefer to hike with my family than smoke a cigarette.
Hell
I
yeah.
had to have that realization today.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like,
That's-
dude, you
that's fair.
have zero people to blame but yourself for how bad you feel right now. There are people walking with backpacks of children who are like double the age of your child, and you're fucking. And it's like, bro, fucking. And if there's anything that kind of relates back to, men, take fucking accountability in your life. Not just men, people at large. Take accountability in your life. Don't blame other people. Don't get mad that other people are winning or having fun or fucking living their life. Why does it affect you?
Matt, what's grinding your gears lately?
What's grinding my gears? God damn. I'm just kind of listening.
Sorry,
forgot.
we've just kind of steamrolled.
Yeah, you're
over
totally
you
good.
And I
for
didn't
this
want it to stay
conversation. Sorry
serious.
about it.
Yeah, I didn't want it to stay super serious. I'm glad this is only been like
you're
20
good.
minutes.
I fully appreciate just like, obviously this is the worst content coming from me, like not saying anything because like I'm
No,
not
but, like,
contributing to the conversation.
we
but
can see.
me
I know we
as
don't have the video going, but we can see you nodding like, yes, I'm agreeing.
What I'll say is this is
Actually,
like,
Matt's been shaking his head disagreeing with
yes.
pretty much
Matt's
everything.
holding up his Trump hat, ready to put it on.
When Kyle and I took our
mega.
anti-genocide stance, Matt was like, Matt
Matt threw the AirPods to the ground and stomped on him. He said, I can't hear this anymore.
I can't hear this shit. No, just me as like a person, and I'll kind of throw my 2 cents in there. Is like, I generally, like, for the most part, stay out of shit, but that's not so much just that, like, I don't have an opinion on things, but it's more like I like to hear other people's opinions on things. And
Yeah, like becoming informed is one thing. Like,
yes,
not echo
like,
chamber.
and especially in a lot of stuff, like, my anxiety is so bad. I try to stay out of things as much as possible,
dude.
So
and I fucking get
most
that,
of the time,
man.
I
Especially,
don't know what the fuck is happening.
Like, I'll say this much, like, especially with everything going on in our political system and like the fucking actual scary real life shit going on. People will say you're a bad person by like shielding yourself and protecting your mental health. Do what you got to do to fucking stay right.
No,
dude.
I don't feel that way.
I've seen
honestly,
some shit that's like, but I've been fucked my brain up because I was on the internet before things were regulated as they are now. You think it's bad now. You think Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels are horrible.
Oh yeah.
There were full on websites dedicated to this shit, man.
I don't
Remember
know
the Reddit 50/50 days?
Have any of you guys been on rotten.com? Are you old enough for rotten.com?
Oh, I know Rotten.com.
I don't know if
Live
this
leak.
was
dude.
the case for you guys, but like a lot of that, like is honestly just kind of a response from like our childhood, like just being around people that like you couldn't really say that you had a huge like difference in opinion, like and like
9/11 really changed everything. That sounded like a joke, but actually 9/11 really changed everything.
Really, dude, the second teachers were like, hey, let's wheel TVs into the class for these little kids to watch the fucking people jumping from buildings. Like,
yes, that was kind of crazy. That
like,
was
it's insane, dude. You're watching flaming bodies and shit. It's nuts. Like, and to pretend like, and it's not that you're pretending. If you're protecting your mental health and the stability within your home, keep yourself informed. Arm yourself with fucking knowledge, my dude. Like, look into shit. Ask actual questions. Ask if you're wrong, you know? Make sure you double check shit. Like, make sure you have friends around you who go, you're talking out of your ass a little bit. Like, you know, like really have some, you don't want yes men. You don't want people who tell you to dumb yourself down for them. You don't want anyone who's like telling you you're wrong for feeling how you're feeling about stuff. Like, obviously, you know, if you're harming other people, go fuck yourself. But like, if you feel bad about what's going on in the state of the world and like your country, whatever, you're not the only one. And it's not, and as much as it sucks, I hope that we are able to be like a small moment of respite in between all the bullshit. Like, I know this is a more serious tavern talk from us, but like genuinely, dude, like we're real people and like we say stuff and we joke around, but we need you to know that there is a thin line between like saying a joke and everyone is knowing something is a joke and harming a person or persons.
Well, like a big part of the reason we do this show is to be a respite for us from the world we live in.
Absolutely.
Because I've said shit like that before.
I'm gonna be real. Living in America kind of sucks right now, and I don't mean to say that. I don't mean to say that in a way that's like it's harder here than everywhere else or anywhere else.
And I don't think
nothing
it's
like that. There's no need to compare anyone's problems. Like things are scary right now in America.
It's a human thing to wonder. Gee, can I afford gas, food, and rent? You know, like that's not politics. And it's the thing of like, you know, you want to protect your kids, you want to protect your family, you want to protect your own peace. Let's just put it as that. Like that shit is core to your peace. Like the people you have around you and stuff, you want to protect them and shit. But you got to make sure that everybody's on the up and up. Everybody's like being as real with you as possible. And like, you know, interpersonal relationships are weird. I'll be the first one to say that. And like, is no one of the space of forgiveness if you have the capacity for that, you know? Like, I'm not here to tell you who to cancel, who to love, who to hate. Yeah. You know, you might have a complicated relationship. And that goes back to the minding your business shit that we talked about. Like it's important to know that you as the individual have the freedom to maneuver how you need to keep your fucking shit going, how you got to have it going. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like standing your truth, be who you're supposed to be, you know, like, but like,
be curious about like if you're really not like understanding why you have such a differing opinion about something, like try to like just ask like in a non-harmful way, but just be like, we probably have where are you coming from? Like, as far as like, you know, like what brings you to that conclusion? Like if you're just, and it could be like literally about French fries. Like,
going back to the Tavern
like Tyler,
how had to come up. Hey, I didn't bring it up.
No, but it's one of us always. But I fully agree with what Matt's saying. It's like, just have some discernment about you. And if you aren't sure, and like, I know, I'll give men this because you need to hear it, dude. It's okay to fucking ask for help. It's okay to not be able to do shit. That's fucking a part of this shit. Like, people make you think that you're supposed to have shit figured out at a certain point in your life. I'm 30 with a kid. You think I got shit figured out? Fuck no, dude. Like, but I'm always like, me and my partner have come a long way. And like, like, not to say that you need somebody romantically, but you can have a friend. You can have somebody. Like, be kind to the people around you and they will give you kindness back. I promise you. I know some people are hurt out there and some people lash out, but if you're able to fucking be patient with people and like truly try to understand yourself, like self-reflection is so important, dude. Ask yourself the questions you aren't going to ask out loud. The second you start actually being able to answer those questions in your brain space, that's the step in the right direction, dude. I literally had a thing the other day where I was talking to my partner and I was like, bro, I'm trying to say something that I physically couldn't for years. And like, it was hard for me to like, you know, come out and say this like really raw thing. And I said it and I like made myself cry and stuff because it was like, it's this weird shame we carry as men with certain stuff. And like this like baggage of like, I'm going to be weak or like, I'm going to be embarrassed and like, whatever. Don't give a fuck, dude. Like the second you let go of those shackles of like, the mistakes I've made are going to stay with me forever. The second you can start fucking healing, the second you can start like actually fucking like asking yourself real fucking shit. Like as much as you say you know yourself as much as you do you? Like really ask yourself that. You know, I think that's like the first step to figuring out who's trying to help you in your space. Like once you start to understand yourself a little bit, you'll start to see who's actually trying to like some of it's tough love, some of it's like normal ass stuff. Some people can't read, you know, social cues and things, but there's someone in your life that's been trying to tell you for fucking years, get it together. Hey, this one aspect, like you're great, you're amazing, you have so much potential, this fucking shit, not to be on some grind set mindset shit, but like, I truly think there's a power in listening to the people around you. Like, like as much as you think you are, like really like let it roll around in your brain. Don't feel afraid to like compliment somebody when they gave you an idea or like made you look at something from a perspective you've never seen before. And that's in all things. That doesn't even mean political or whatever, or intersocial or whatever. Like, just like somebody could literally be like, yo, have you ever tried a ham sandwich? Your ass never had a ham sandwich in your fucking life. You didn't think that was a thing people were still eating in the year 2024. You try that shit? Blew your mind.
Dude, I eat ham sandwiches like every week. Shut the fuck up.
I know that anger when you stumble and you're just like, I'm gonna kill myself tonight.
Callie and I, that is the one thing we always, not a second goes by when one of us says the wrong word and the other one doesn't speak up.
Oh, dude.
So to move on to something
yes. Let's do some fun shit because like, I don't know. I just think like, we don't have a platform, whatever, but like I feel like somebody out there is gonna hear that shit and it could help them. You know?
Yeah,
it's important
I hear you.
For everybody. It's not just men, but like specifically because y'all be fucking up too much. That's the only reason why I talk to y'all because I used to.
Me and Matt.
But like y'all are good, man. Yeah. Y'all are fine.
So a weird thing happened to me today.
I'm sorry. Just the
moving
is this a segment?
No. Actually,
Tyler's
a weird thing.
Weird.
It's something weird happened today where I was like, oh, I should bring this up later. Callie and I were driving down the road right by our apartment. We were going out to get groceries and we stopped at this corner where there's this one homeless guy who's there most of the time. And we usually try to give him like a bottle of water, a couple bucks or something. And we saw him, we were pulling up and I only had, this is not me trying to brag about, this is more about what happens after. I only had a 20 in my wallet and I was like, I feel like I'm going to give this dude a 20.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to, you know.
I've been there. I've fucking been there.
Yeah, you know, not the point of the story.
No, I get what you mean though, where you're just like, oh,
so yeah, we call him over, we give him, $20. He's super grateful. And he gave us a big ass statue of Buddha.
Hell yeah!
Oh wow! Holy shit!
What do I do with this statue?
No, dude.
It's in my car, so I can't show you. But it's basically a square stone with like a pipe that sticks out, and then Buddha's head in stone on top of it.
Holy shit!
It's sick, but
dude,
like,
I would take a
is
picture.
it weird to display a Buddha statue in my house when I'm not a Buddhist?
Yeah, I would post this on Reddit. Be like, dude, I gave a homeless guy $20, and he gave me this crazy statue. Not crazy like it's crazy, but like,
am I
don't
the
know
asshole?
if as a white person should I display this? It
Yeah.
was a gift.
Yeah.
I feel like as a gift culture, as a gift, even if it wasn't like whatever, it doesn't matter who gave it to you. It was a gift, right? I don't think you're doing anything, but you would definitely have to have the story on deck every time.
Oh yeah.
Like anyone asks, Buddha, are you Buddhist? And it's like, well, no. So
Yeah.
You get a little sunglasses and a hat, and you put it on him.
That's interesting. I could give him the Batman sunglasses I have. That's on a cat statue here in my house.
Dude,
would that not be too big, or is it a big ass statue?
No,
he gave
it's like the head's like this big.
Holy shit, that's crazy!
Wow, that's a child's head.
Like it's not a little statue. Literally,
what was
he's
he
an
doing
older
with
guy.
that?
Basically, it was sitting on the ground by him.
Uh-huh.
He's an older guy. He was like, "Hey, I want y'all to have this. I have trouble carrying it around with me all the time and all that. And Callie was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Dude, I'm using that story in some capacity creatively.
I'll take a picture of it and send
A
it to y'all.
gentleman
I
gave
love
you a burdenful statue. Yes, the $20 riddle has been
Oh
solved.
my god.
I was going to say, what if he was putting a curse on me?
That made me think of the horrible children's rhyme
that's
about
so
Coke.
funny.
But I was
had
more
the-
thinking.
I
I was
had-
more thinking curse as in like statue, like
Look,
curse
okay,
statue.
yeah,
not,
hear me out.
So, not
Hear me
like
out.
a.
I had
no,
the
no,
same
no.
thought, but like in Skyrim form of what if he gave you the beacon?
That's literally so. That was I thought less of a curse, more of a burden. Because like now you have to like. Because my thought was like, I know this isn't what you meant, but you said he picked it up because he was standing next to it. What if it was just there? It wasn't even his. He's just like, hey, here's this trash I found. Here's this trash for $20 that I found. Because he said it's like just like
funny.
a weird like the head sitting on like a pipe or something.
Yeah, essentially. I'll take
Yes,
a picture and send it
God.
to y'all
Take a
later
picture
tonight.
I
and
can't
look at
wait.
it. But that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last encounter I had was like everyone's homeless encounter. I think like you're hanging out and unhoused homeless. I don't mean anything negative by it. I smoke cigarettes off the ground with these guys. You don't know my life. I used to hang out with this one guy behind the restaurant I was last at, the Italian restaurant back in Wisconsin, and he was a cool dude, black guy, whatever, and he had just found a job and everything, and we like talking, shooting the shit. He catches the bus right outside of my work, so like I'm literally seeing this dude like get back together. It's cool, and then he started saying some nonsense, just like.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, you're maintaining a job. That's so great. He's like, yeah, I got to do it because they're watching me, and I'm like, oh no, who's watching?
Oh no.
He's like, the bridge people. The bridge people? Like you? Like how you used to be? Like, is it other homeless people? Like, that was my first thought.
Why is he talking like Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I don't want to do like his voice because he had an accent.
No.
I'm just doing, like,
I don't mean the
stereotypical-
voice. I don't mean the voice. I just mean like talking about hanging out with people under the bridge.
Yeah.
But he's just like,
Yeah.
no, but I thought he was talking about like other unhoused people. You know, are they fucking with you? Because like I'll be with you, dude. I literally work near fire and knives and like boiling oil. Tell me something and I'll give it to you. You do your work. You do your grim work with the thing I bring you.
Your dark deeds.
Yeah,
Pocket
fucking
oil.
end it all. And he's like, nah, man, the bridge people, man, at night. And I'm like trying to understand. And I think he has like, you know, his mental faculties obviously aren't completely there. He's talking about like when people walk and pass the bridge up there, their reflections sometimes would like hit the water and you could see like at like the angle of the sun, their shadows. He's talking about people's shadows, and I was like, oh no.
Oh
That's
no.
not good. But specifically at the bridge only. I'm like, something happened to you at the bridge, dude.
Yeah.
And it makes me
Sounds
feel
like
bad.
he's
Or
going
what if it's
through
the
it.
bridge of life?
But last
bridge
I checked,
of-
Or maybe he's talking about the bridge over the river Styx and he is death.
oh fuck, did I meet
Jesus
death?
Christ.
That's insane.
I mean, you
God.
might have.
That's
Did you-
crazy.
Did he give you either a wand, a rock, or a cloak?
No.
Did he ask you to drink of the river Styx?
No,
thus
I'm-
losing your memory.
I'm not drinking from that river. No, I was already losing my memory because of brain damage and weed.
You remember when Jake from Adventure Time drank from the river
thought you were gonna
Styx
say
and
State
forgot about Finn and everything, and Finn had to go win his memory back? That was a good one.
I love that show. I genuinely
I
been
love
wanting
that
to
show
watch that
too.
show
I don't know if I got
Especially
to that episode
like
yet. Is that later?
I wrote off a lot of
Somewhere in the middle, maybe late middle.
like
Okay.
not
I
quite
might be
like
getting close to
finale
it.
material, but like you could tell the animation was getting good.
yeah.
I need to go finish that show.
But was that?
Wait, wasn't that the episode where I think that was that the same episode where Finn is going to find Death because Death has the soul of Princess Bubblegum's flower that he accidentally killed
During the
and then they
drum-
do the rock off
Yes.
and he does the double bass.
I
Is
think
that the
so.
same episode?
Yes.
Because that's early. That's an
Or
early
is that
Okay.
the baby
Yeah.
episode? I don't know. I'm
like
thinking
where
of
he
the
has
one.
the baby body?
Yeah, where the bottom half of him is baby.
Oh no,
Oh my
that's
God.
the witch with the donuts.
Jeez.
The donut plants.
Dude,
Jesus.
there's like a level. There's like a change in animation quality and a change in like his
Yeah.
voice at the exact same time. Finn's voice, anyway. Like so I like blurs the lines. It feels like an early episode now that you're saying that, but I could be mashing them together because he goes to find Jake again in a future episode on HBO where he's doing the fucking
Oh yeah. That was in the Distant Lands.
Dude,
Wasn't that what it was called? The 4-episode series. I think it was.
Texting and things. Why are you making so many formulas? I'm going to say this. I'm outing my baby. I think the new babies that are coming out now, I think they are being like imparted with souls that have been here. My baby has so many notes documents. My baby has so many. Yes, the fully sentient baby that wants to go to the Four Seasons. Oh my God. I know that's probably so old now. But literally, I think there's something in like the water or the food or just like parents are like more discerning about putting lead in all the things. But like legitimately, I think like the kids, like the microplastics have got to be making chips in their brains or something because like she has a notes app with several different notes that look like suspiciously like her father's messy Google Docs. But it's just like strings of nonsense and then some words and sentences. And it's like blowing my mind. And she also does this thing where she separates apps and there's 2 apps going. She's watching Bluey and fucking with some shit. And I'm like, stop.
The multitasking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you doing this? I didn't even know this was a thing because I wasn't an Apple bitch for such a long time. But like, she does so much.
He
and I'm
prefers
just like,
oranges. Pears.
God.
Tonight.
I like
Shout out to all the pear.
I'm lurking and I'm stalking when I least expect it.
So the only other thing I actually prepared is gonna be too long for this, so I'm gonna save it for next time.
Oh, I do want to tease something that I was doing though, and I don't know what capacity I'm gonna do this in, but I think it's been getting popular with a lot of YouTubers lately to do like a sort of like every so often world building series on YouTube. And I don't know yet how to compose videos or do any of that shit for it, but I've been working on something for a very long time and I've been talking your guys' ears off and everyone. I even asked my fucking boss who's like, he went to school for video game design, so it doesn't make like, it's not like outside of left field, but I was asking him like stuff and picking his brain about ideas and stuff. And I think I'm gonna like, especially once I finish this little pixel art like portrait I'm doing of like current time period character I'm developing, I think I'm gonna start a world building series. I don't have a name for any of it yet.
What do you mean, like, start a world building series? What do you mean?
Have you seen, if any of you guys, for an example that you can actively go look up, I think it's called The Monster Garden on YouTube. There's this guy that's doing this long form like fantasy project, and the first video I ever saw of him was like setting up sort of how his magic system worked in his world through an artist's depiction of it. And it's like, what if like you actually
so is he
had
just
to,
like talking?
Yeah, and
it's
he's
like
talking, doing
some images that are
art,
like he's
images.
doodling or something.
Yes, it would be some.
So almost like he screen records while he's doing it, and he's just like
some of them
podcast talking over it.
Yes,
kind of.
Some of them kind of. It's like mini form podcast / like just like a single like explanation of like your sort of lore and stuff like that. And he talks about like his magic system and stuff. Please go look it up. I do believe it's The Monster Garden on YouTube. It's like, dude's an incredible artist, and he's taking like fantasy stuff and like concepts and kind of spinning them on his ear to like butcher a little bit of an example of like what he does. In this world, magic is attracted to patterns. Like, so mana will be drawn in, like you can draw in mana however you like, but using stuff that have like naturally occurring spirals or fractal like patterns to focus mana, you have a better time of using harnessing the magic and using it in that way. But there's a organ within every wizard's body called a tar eye. As you cast spells and draw in mana, it produces a byproduct. Like, he really thought like these little details, but like it's not so much that he's giving us like, he doesn't have thousands of things. Like, he'll do a stream every now and then and like shoot the shit with his like fans and like take ideas from them and stuff. And I love that concept because of how my fucking brain works, where like I can't focus in, but if somebody gives me like a fucking, like you the other day, Tyler, asked me that question of like, one of my characters I'd set up, I had already had this idea for the character, right? You know, you'll have like, ooh, wouldn't this be a cool concept? It's like, okay, yeah, that's a cool concept. Why does that happen that way? What about this character led them to this point? Like, do you
Yeah.
have any of these questions answered yet? And I think stuff like that is like kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, where I'm saying ask people questions. Like, it's not just political, dude. Genuinely shoot. Like,
Other input is always good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was so like close to the chest with stuff because, like, you know, insecurities about your own writing and stuff. But I'm at the point where I'm like,
For sure.
I'm letting you know this is my.
That's why I started this podcast. Was
Yeah.
I needed to be able to train myself to get out of that.
Yes.
I can put something out there because
Dude,
that's scary.
and I think like developing communication skills that I had lacked like growing up, like in like certain aspects, I'm able to do now as an adult, having realized things and kind of figured stuff out about myself. I'm able to ask these questions and bring people into my world a little bit of this thing that really means a lot to me, not just this one particular project, but just being a creative as a whole.
yeah.
We come up in like a time of people being like the starving artist trope, blah, 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 whatever. I don't give a fuck. I have a day job. I'm not like throwing my life away for this, but like I want to actually start putting in the kind of effort I've always talked about in this in these kinds of avenues. And so I've been reaching out to you guys. I've been reaching out to like my friends and other family members about certain things. And like I have like a concept that I'm slowly but surely ready to sort of present bits and pieces of. I kind of have like a creation myth done already. Like I was so proud of myself for doing this thing of like how stuff kind of came to be. But there's a portion that's just like, and we got to definitely talk about that later, but you know, whatever. It's a little convoluted, but like that's the point. Like that this stuff isn't the stuff. This stuff isn't the stuff that's going to be on camera, right? Like you're not going to see like you don't read
These are how
unless it's like
what's happening in the
thematically-
background.
Yeah, unless it's thematically like urgent or present, you're not going to see the Big Bang Theory happen in a Superman comic book, right? Like you're not going to see the universe be created. Like I know how the universe was created because I created the myth now. It's not like fully realized in detail, but I have enough of it that I would present it as like a video format in some capacity if I like went through and actually edited some of it down.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm actually
I
confident.
mean, you can kind of look at Wanderful proper and see a lot of that. Like,
and that's what I
there's
mean,
a
like-
lot that I have prepared. I've kind of like told stories of like the early days of like Yonder and Duradera, and it's like those things aren't necessary,
Right.
but like it's flavor and it's things like the giant lobster, like things like that are just like it's things that are happening because this is a world outside of the story we're seeing.
Dude, exactly. And it's like it makes me like I don't know, especially now that I'm like more confident in like asking for that kind of help, or at the very least like reaching out, and like don't ever feel like something you say is going to be, if I don't want to take it, I don't have to, you know. And that's kind of back to some of the earlier stuff we were talking about too, where like that's the energy you got to bring to most things so you can get shit done at the end of the day with a lot of stuff. Like
Absolutely.
you have to like both in a criticism way and in a sense of like, is that bloaty? Like, will that weigh down my story that I am trying to tell? Like, I know where I want to set my time period with stuff, but that means time happened to get to that point. You as the author should know that. Like, you as the creative should know where that, regardless of what you give to your reader or your player of the game. Like, because I say concept.
You don't want to be making it up as you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I want to have like concrete sort of things that I personally can draw back to, because especially when you're doing something creative writing style, like how these guys are doing. Like there was another one too. I can't think of, I think it's Golden Bone or something like that. It's like a I think female presenting, not entirely sure, person who's making a magic system where like people are born with native chunks of gold on their bones, and like this gold is like somehow linked to like how mana works in her world. Like it presents itself like minerals and like
That's not that sounds very similar. I never finished the book, but it's not Jade, right? There's a book series called The Greenbone Saga by a I can't remember the author's name, but like it's kind of a similar where Jade, they like infuse Jade to make magical properties and things. That sounded familiar.
So you know how
the
like
Jade War,
to like pull it back to like
that.
D&D kind of vibes. You know how in D&D the sorcerer is born with their magic rather than a wizard who has to learn their magic. Some people can get objects made out of this gold and stuff to do it. I'm looking it up now. Gold and Bone World. building. Cut this out for me, Tyler, so I can find her.
No, you're okay.
This person's
I'm
great.
also
Perfect. It is
that's
Golden.
Not what I meant
It's
to...
Golden Bone by Rit Finch on YouTube. Like 919k views in 6 months, and she's been building out this shit. Like, it's incredible. It's only 6 minutes, and she has like the art that she's made for this stuff to like represent how this is working and stuff, but also like the like attention to detail, both in like the like stuff we haven't even been like dealt out yet from what they're creating. You know, it's like,
yeah,
these people have like inspired me.
So is this kind of what you're wanting with what you talked to me
about,
like wanting to do a show, like a podcast or something
I kind of wanted
about
to,
writing and stuff?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of like, and you don't have to be on all the time. Like I wouldn't mind doing a couple episodes by myself, especially if you have to tour or something, you know. But I've wanted to do a podcast where I have people on and we discuss, like, in a semi-series, but obviously I'm a goofy boy. There's going to be jokes.
Yeah.
Like, the focus won't be jokes. I want to do a podcast where I'm, like, talking to different guests about, like, the process of, like, creative writing and, like, creating as, like, art in general. Like, because I don't know enough, like, technical terms, but I'd love to learn from these people so that I can ask these different questions and maybe branch out to like musicians and stuff like that. Because you know how killer it would be to talk to an indie video game artist just about the music. Like, could you imagine? Like, I know Toby Fox is probably like sick of talking about Undertale in the sense of like the deeper lore. I would love to just sit and talk with him or them for like hours about the process of making each of the characters' theme songs. I love shit like that. Like in this project that I'm doing, I've legitimately, because I have an old ass copy of Fruity Loops that I bought a long time ago. I thought about literally, like, as I'm making these pixel art characters, creating a theme song just for that portrait to like.
I've really wanted to explore and like learn music production for things like that as well. Not like, I don't want to write songs. I want
like,
to
even if it's not
create,
a podcast thing, right? Like, even if it's not like to a serious capacity, I genuinely, like, if I'm off, like, I have those 3 days off. I know it's Father's Day and stuff. Like, if y'all ever just want to just chill for a second and like do shit like that, like if you have your own creative project and you're wanting to do that and just kind of sit in the same room and like make Pinterest boards, you know, because that's what
I've actually got something I would love to. I'm not going to be able to tonight, but I would love to pick y'all's brain about that I'm working
saying,
on.
Even if I don't get to a text or something like that, this is the energy you guys need to bring to your friendships, man. I'm saying this for the podcast because we're starting to have our own conversation, but like legitimately, just be open to like hear your friend out, even if it's something that like you didn't think of at first. You might be the right person to ask a question they never have heard before. Like, my partner used to be a hairstylist and stuff. My partner doesn't have like super like creative, just in general, like vibes like that, but they do like to do creative things and they read. And so like, I'll get perspectives from them because of like other life experiences and things that they've had that I've not even thought to like ask myself about, like either the creative process or just like us shooting the shit, and they'll like make a joke or we'll make a character together by accident. Like, it's just, be open to like letting people in your space.
So we have episode 100 of the show coming up
in 2 weeks.
So my thought for 100th episode special. What do y'all think about? Now I'll talk to Jeremy and all this. What do y'all think about each of us? What if we did like a Wanderful fantasy fiction episode where we all just write a story and we share our stories? Because we've been such in a writing mood.
Yes.
I love that so much.
I'll write out a text and send it to y'all later tonight. But y'all might have that to look forward to. We're coming up on 100.
Dude, I honestly love that idea because I know for a fact all four of us have been heavily inspired by fantasy fiction, and even like the jokes we've made. Yes, 100%. Like, am I gonna wait to use this goal? Like, that's so good. But like adding that as like our celebration as our 100th episode, I think is honestly perfect. And even for me, who's like, it is very difficult for me to like sit down and write something. Like, I feel like I have like creativity in a weird way where it's like, it's hard for me to process into it. Dude. But like every time I get, and this is going off on track, I know we're going to end it up here in a second, but literally every single time I get high, Like, I don't know if it is that I get into a hyper creative mode, but I basically break apart how things are being created. So like,
dude.
and what I was going to say earlier is like, if you're ever curious on like, I think animation, and I'm just such an anime nerd, I think animation is the peak of art. In the aspect of you're getting the actual like physical drawn art, you're getting storyline, you're getting music, like everything that they create is 100% like from the dome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like you get this sense of like you get to see for a moment like a glimpse into somebody else's imagination.
Yes,
I agree.
I feel that way.
I feel the same way, but cartoons are more my thing than anime.
Yes.
Well,
I
love
love
anime
animation
too,
in general.
I was
I agree in that way, but I've also felt that with like, cause I love pixel art and like, that's not everybody's bag, but like I come from like having an older brother who showed me like his video games before I even got into my modern games. So I have like games from the past that are like iconic, but also like weird niche shit that is just like my brother and I just being like, hey, well, let's pick up this fucking game. And like, there's this like comfort in like seeing the level of detail. Some people like when you think pixel art, some people will think of stuff like Earthbound, where you look at that and like, yeah, there's detail to it, but it's like pretty simplistic. But if you go back to something older than that, like Bahamut's Lagoon, somebody sat for 40 hours and made one dragon.
Yeah.
Think about that. And it's like there's shading and the light is hitting it at a certain angle and the balancing of the shadow makes sense. And a motherfucker did that with like 64 colors.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like it blows my mind that someone was able to get that. I call them demons as much as it's not actually demons, but like when you get stuck on an idea and you have to make art to get it out of you, I call that like a because you're like releasing it into the world and like people are going to react to it. They might think, oh, that's crazy. Oh, it's provocative. Or oh, that's ugly and stupid. It makes me hate you. You know, like, so it's like in a weird way, like it's just like, it makes me laugh so much to see like people who like extra shit on something. It's because someone did that to them. I've learned lately, because like so many people online will try to say, oh, you must be lonely, and then you show them a picture of your partner and then they have nothing to say or something, and it's not like you're bragging. It's just like, dude, don't assume stuff about people online. I'm just trying I'm being my earnest self. If you have actual criticism, that's one thing, but if you're just talking shit to talk shit, that's not helpful. Like I don't mind you ripping me apart if you're gonna make me learn. Like you know, like there's a complete difference in being mean and being critical. There's a complete difference, and like it's not like everybody let's hold hands, kumbaya. Because some people need to get a kick in the pants, but if you can do that and make them get it, that's a different story. And I think like,
so on that note, let's leave. Speaking of critical, let's leave with this.
Tip your waiter.
Fuck, marry, kill. Moist Critical, Ethan Klein. And
oh my god, I don't know
Aaron
any of
Hansen.
these people. Oh my god,
dude, the gun would go off.
Goodbye.